Hey y'all, it's your girl Shy. It's Tuesday, so it's that time of the week again. Set your notifications so that you're able to join me. But if you catch this on the replay, please talk back to your in the comments. And for those of you that do not know, I help women heal and discover their voice and self value. This helps us become empowered as the woman we are to become the woman that we have a desire to be. So I do that through personal development and using biblical principles. So thank you for joining in and talk back to me in the comments. Today's topic is, are you a promise keeper? Also starting this Saturday is the Healing for Her Masterclass. It's a free class. The investment is your time and commitment. It is 3 days in a row. So it is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, all 3 different times. So if you can't do one, you should be able to do the other. And so that is available to you. And today I am talking about promises. Are you a promise keeper? Promises to ourselves, the things that we say that we're not going to do, we're going to do, all of that. So, definition of a promise: a declaration or assurance that one would do a particular thing or that a particular thing will happen. And so when we're talking about that, we understand somebody tells us, I promise I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I promise, I'm going to pick you up from work. I promise I would never hurt you again. I promise, right? So that is what I'm talking about today. And when I ask, are you a promise keeper? Is, are you keeping the promises that you've made to yourself? Are you keeping the promises that you made to yourself? And so before you could possibly, you may be able to, identify if you are keeping those promises, do you even remember the promises? And the reason I'm saying, do you remember? Because as people, we will remember what we told someone that we needed, we wanted them to do. We will remember that and say, well, you promised, right? We go back into our memory bank and say, no, on June 3rd, 2007, you said that you would no longer, or on a particular thing, you would do something. And so are we holding ourselves accountable the same way that we are holding others accountable? Are we holding ourselves accountable the way that we are holding others accountable? And, I'm not talking about the one-offs, we doing well and then life happens and all of that. But are we holding ourselves accountable to the promises that we made? Do we even remember them? Do we remember what we said? What are some things that you promised yourself? That's the first part. I want you to remember, write down, think about some things that you promised yourself. And then, just to help you out in that area, like the examples that I already gave, I won't make that mistake again. I'm not going to take him back. I'm not going, to disappoint myself or my family. I promise I will not be like a specific person because I don't want to live that lifestyle. I promise I will put myself first. I promise this year will be better than last year. I promise this will be the last year that I struggle like this. I promise that this will be the last time that, I get stuck in a situation like this. Do you remember the promises that you made to yourself? Because we can't, when you put something into the atmosphere, you speak what you want to happen. You're having faith. You're speaking that into the atmosphere. You may forget about it, but you didn't already put it out there. So it's a possibility it's going to happen, right? And so, but are you speaking stuff and making promises just because in that moment it felt right? Or are you doing that to be able to hold yourself accountable and to really be able to keep that commitment, right? To be able to keep that. And so, what are some of the promises you made? What are some of the promises you made? And are you making good on those promises? What are the promises, and are you making good on those promises? Remember, a promise is a declaration that you will do a particular thing or a particular thing will happen. That's all I'm talking about today. And the reason it's important for us to remember those promises, because some of the areas that we may be struggling with, we forgot we made a promise. you promised yourself you would never end up in this situation again. You promised yourself you would not take him back again. You promised yourself that you would make yourself a priority. You promised yourself that this year would be better than last year. You promised yourself that you would go back to school. You promised yourself that you would save money. You promised yourself, you made promises to yourself. And are you honoring the promises that you made to yourself? Because we can't be making promises, commitments off of emotion and because it feels good in that moment. What are some of the promises you made to yourself, and are you making good on those promises? What are some of the promises? So this is a reflective video, because you could take time to think about that. Think about, should I have even made this, a promise? And if I should have, why am I not honoring that promise? What's going on there? So, it's cool to want to make a promise or a commitment, but it has to be a real reason behind it. And so, what I have here is, why did you make the promise? Was it even a realistic promise to begin with? Was it a realistic promise? Did you really have intentions on honoring that promise? Or was it emotionally driven? So, why did you make the promise? Was it a realistic promise? And if you have not honored that promise, what do you need to stick to that commitment? What do you need to happen? Or what resources or what things do you need to be able to make that a reality? So, and like I said, some of this can tie back to the reason why we're still struggling in certain areas. So if I know that I'm in a toxic relationship and I keep saying, I'm not going to go back, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, that's even like trying to set up, can flow into, creating boundaries and things like that. But if all you're doing is saying it, it means nothing if you are not actually trying to make the thing a reality. It's just lip service. And I think we owe ourselves a little bit more than just lip service. And if you are struggling, like you really have good intentions to do it, but you don't know how to do it, look around you for the help and support that you need, or for the tools and resources that can help you in your current state. If we're not going to honor our promises to ourselves, then how do we look at somebody and want them to honor their promise and be accountable for it? It can't work one way and not work the other way. So if you have not honored your promises / commitments, you don't get to demand that from others. Because if you can't show up and do that for yourself, why would you expect others to do that for you? And I understand that some people will, because we're all made differently, and that's fine. But what does that say? Someone can honor their promise and commitment to you, but you cannot honor your promises for yourself. For yourself, having to do with nothing and no one else. So, Um, these things here. Why did you make the promise? Was it a realistic promise? And if you have not um, kept the promise, what do you need to help make it? What do you need, to help you keep that commitment? So I just wanted to have that conversation because it's needed and it's necessary. And like I said, if you ain't gonna uphold your own promises, stop looking to hold other people to their promises because it works two ways. So, the last thing that I want to read here in reference to promises, and this is in Numbers 23 and 19. God is not a man that he shall lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Basically saying he gonna keep his word. So if you want someone to keep their word to you, so that. And keep your word to yourself, and do those three things. Why did you make the promise? Was it a realistic promise to begin with? And then if you have not kept the promise, look at what's needed for you to do so. So I hope you take this and do something with it. Again, you can join me every Tuesday. Turn on your notifications to find out what time. The Healing for Her Masterclass, that starts in 4 days. That starts June 11th. So I hope to see you in the space. It is free. The investment is your time and your commitment. And what I am going to be talking about, which a lot of this is going to be freeing. For some of us, it's really going to shift our theology of the things that we taught ourselves or we learned and just thought that was it. But we're going to be talking about guilt and shame, increasing self-belief, and destroying the myth around being strong. We live in a society that gives a very distinct look of what strong looks like, and it's totally not the right way. It's not. And that's why I said the myth around being strong. It doesn't mean what we've seen and what we felt that being strong was. So I hope to see you in the space, the Healing for Her Masterclass. I hope to see you back here Tuesday. If you have topics or things like that that you will want to discuss or hear, you can definitely DM me that to let me know. But watch, if you did not catch this from the beginning, watch it over to be able to just hear about promises and do those three things to help you with promises that you have made. And again, if we can't honor a commitment to ourselves, we need to stop looking for others to honor that outside of us. Hey, Katie. Yes, but you can definitely check the replay and and go from there. So y'all have a great day. And if you want more information, or possibly you're looking into, making a commitment to invest in yourself to get the support and help that you need, you can definitely click the link in my bio or just send me a DM and we can talk about it. Y'all have a great day. Yes, I just did the double piece because I need you to smile and know that even when trouble is all the way around us, there's some great things that's still around. So find a piece of happiness today and be great.